In Eswatini, every morning begins with the same quiet promise.
Started from the bottom, always reaching for the sky.
To keep pushing ahead for someone you love.
Phokopela.
Along the way, you'll meet people on their own journey,
Phokopela mfana wami.
turning small beginnings into something more.
Gimme started from the bottom is not a figure of speech.
Because when one person says Pokopela, others begin to believe it too. Soon, it becomes something we share with each other. And with the right financial partner beside you, your future begins to take shape. Because every journey ahead is never just for ourselves.
Wade waphumelela mfana wami.
To every Liswati pushing ahead, Pokopela, Sinawe.
Overreach, give me started from the bottom is not a figure of speech.
Today's special edition of the Blue Table Talk series as we roll out the blue carpet and set the stage for the 8th edition of the annual Standard Bank Luju Food and Lifestyle Festival taking place right here at House on Fire from Saturday the 1st of August to Sunday the 2nd of August 2026. I am your host, Piwo Dlamini. Thank you so much for choosing to be a part of this conversation as we explore what you can expect at this year's edition of the festival. And of course, as always, I am joined by a range of panelists who are going to help us unpack the different program elements that you can expect, the experiences that you can walk into when you come for this edition of the Luju Festival. As we know, Luju Festival is a 2-day wholesome, family-friendly feast of culinary exploits, high-end fashion, and Afrocentric music. And we get to find out how all of this will manifest this year, of course, with the support of our title sponsor, Standard Bank, who are driving their Pokopela Sinawe campaign. Pokopela Sinawe meaning keep pushing, we are with you. And now, to kick us off, we're going to get into the program for this year. Hello, Jigs.
Good evening, Piwo. Exciting to be here again.
Right?
The 8th edition.
Whew.
That's
What a
quite
journey.
something, yeah.
That's 2 years from 10 years.
You're almost a teenager.
Right? Thank you for joining us. And for those who may not know, would you like to introduce yourself? Maybe just briefly a young hi to the viewers.
Well, my Mbutfo name is Mandengandenga. Good evening.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, fun facts.
Yeah.
Who would have
Didn't
thunk
know
it?
that.
I had no idea. And we are also joined by Standard Bank's Manager, Integrated Marketing and Communications, Letu Ndwandwe. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Letu.
Hi, Piwo.
How are you?
I am great. Excited to be here.
Right? Was
Yeah.
excited to have you here. This is the first time that you're
Yeah.
joining us on the Blue Table Talks.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Yeah,
So, yeah,
very
it's pretty
excited.
special.
Sure.
Thank you for being here. Now, we are going to start. I'm going to start with you, Jigs. 8 years of the Standard Bank Luju Food and Lifestyle Festival. If there's anyone who perhaps has never had the chance to be a part of the festival experience, what can they expect this year?
Well, 8 years, as you know, we mentioned earlier, the objective is to try and raise the bar. It's a difficult feat because I feel every year we come up with something truly amazing. But food and fashion are at the fore of this festival. They're the kind of the two key pillars, if you like. It's brought together by a very dynamic music program. It's a 2-day event. This year we activate on Saturday and Sunday. Last year it was a Friday, Saturday. We are looking to try and support more engagement, particularly in the trading space. We're looking to try and leverage our regional engagement as well by shifting to this new 2-day format. But yes, a very rich and dynamically curated program that brings together some of the finest fashion and food from the region. It's all underpinned by a very conscious tagline, a return to the African future, that really seeks to bring together heritage and innovation whilst exploring and reclaiming our African identity. So I think it's a very dynamic call to action that encourages us to explore our own narrative as Africans, as Emaswati. And for me, that is the most dynamic aspect of this festival. How are we relevant? How are we truthful to our own story? How do we reclaim our identity in a world where popular culture is basically pushing stories that aren't our own? How do we find space where we can celebrate who we are? And I think Luju offers up that space and platform to achieve that.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, House on Fire has, since inception, been synonymous with staging conscious festivals, festivals that allow us to connect with ourselves, but also connect with pertinent social issues. And I think Luju is a platform that allows us to achieve that. Just very briefly, with the tagline, A Return to the African Future, what is the conscious identity that is at the core of the festival?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's really about creating an environment where we can explore local narratives, principally in the food and fashion environments. We're looking at Nguni foodways this year. We're looking at an amazing Gwasuga Sugela theme in the fashion design space, but it all comes back to local narratives. It's consciously presenting a space and using the creative arts as a means to tell these stories in a dynamic way. And I think that is that's the challenge, is to do it with intent and with purpose.
Yeah.
And we actively encourage all participants to embrace the theme, and including people attending who are obviously kind of taking on the theme in their own way through fashion, program, and themes. It's a return to the African future, and join us on this amazing journey.
An amazing journey it will be. Thank you, Jigs. And now over to you, Letu. With the Standard Bank campaign supporting this year's, festival journey, Pokopela Sinawe, can you just give us a brief overview of what the campaign messaging is about and how it will reflect and translate in very tangible ways through the festival experience and just in general throughout the campaign period?
Thank you, Pio. I think for the benefit of everyone listening, Pokopela Sinawe means keep pushing, we are with you. And I think as a bank, we believe banking should be about more than just transactions. So Pokopela Sinawe is sort of our commitment to customers, to Emaswati, to tell them that we are with them as they push towards their dreams and as they overcome challenges along the way. So whether it's an entrepreneur starting a business, or an artist sharing their talent with the world, a family building a better future, or someone just trying to build a career, our message is really simple. We're telling them that they don't have to walk that journey alone. So Pokopela Sinawe is deeply emanating from our purpose. We always say Eswatini is our home. We drive a growth. So this is one of the ways we're sort of coming out with that purpose. So in a way, we're just saying, keep pushing, keep growing, and know that Standard Bank is there with you.
Mm, mm. I'm going to come back to you, Jigs. Just having a partner like Standard Bank supporting the creative ecosystem in the way that they have in the last 8 years since inception. I mean, it's very, I'd say, revolutionary to have such a big institution that believes deeply in the arts. Can you just tell us from your perspective why partnerships such as this one are important and how it has helped elevate the Luju experience, program, and impact?
Yeah, I think a lot of people from the outside looking in see events purely from a program perspective and a main stage perspective. I think we know as the organizers that the festival program is far broader than that. There's a broad ecosystem that we support through the various programs, trading environments, talk shops that we offer. And it's in these spaces where we support the growth and development of local brands and SMEs who activate in this environment. As mentioned, the kind of two core pillars are in the food and lifestyle space. We also have music also playing a very prominent role. But all of these are businesses in their own right. And to create a platform that actively supports the arts, I think is critical, and it's a shared mandate between House on Fire and Standard Bank. The opportunity to support and grow the industry. So we find it very interesting to use the arts as the driver for growth and change and innovation. And the return to the African future is really the tagline that underpins that. And as mentioned earlier, we want to find our own voice in this process. So it's quite political. I always go back to that. And I think, again, it speaks to kind of relevance. And it's a challenge that I think we would like to put out to everybody is how do you find your voice? How does the environment support that process? And again, House of Fire and Standard Bank have been very deliberate in setting the stage. And it's a wonderful partnership. We obviously thank the Standard Bank team for enabling this process. And 8 years in, it's really exciting.
Yeah, thank you, Jigs. Now, Letu, why is it important for Standard Bank to partner with, a platform such as Luju and to leverage this platform in bringing the messaging around Pokopela Sinawe to life?
I think maybe to build on what Jesus just touched on, Luju to a very large extent embodies the energy and the creativity that we're also trying to celebrate with Pokopela Sinawe. And I think the platform itself allows us to not only talk about empowering Emaswati, but to also prove it. Because of the sheer impact that it has on Emaswati and the community. So I think it's very aligned objectives. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Jigs, just very briefly, Pokopela Sinawe, keep pushing, we are with you, is a brand promise that Standard Bank is driving this year. As a festival director, as the co-founder of House on Fire, you know the real struggles, right? Of bringing an idea to life, conceptualizing, bridging that gap from idea to execution. And there's some real, challenges there, and some of them being financial. So, I mean, now perhaps just in the uplifting spirit of this campaign, the messaging that you would share, to other creatives who come and small businesses who come to Luju, and every year and help us elevate the festival experience, knowing that there's a bank such as Standard Bank, what is your message to those creators and those businesses that come into the festival year on year? How can they make the best out of this platform in advancing the
Yeah,
growth?
yeah. Well, I always say you need to start. A lot of people come in, with concepts and it's on paper. I think we all need to take that initial step to, have a proof of concept, to kind of go through the process and, be deliberate about, walking the talk. The learnings that then come with that. And then you have to be consistent. I think my big lesson in life is, I haven't struggled with the consistency, because I often say I feel like I'm fighting against Mike Tyson for 15 rounds, and it doesn't end. It never ends, does it? But I think the biggest takeaway for me has been patience. Because I would like to believe a lot of us have the belief in our concepts and ideas. There's almost an innate understanding that it's going to happen, but it happens when things are ready and when you're ready. And that is a process. And it's a never-ending process. We're never there.
Yeah.
So we have to be prepared to keep growing and developing our concept, to remain relevant. And again, I think getting back to the theme, the return to the African future, challenges us to be relevant. And this is why I think it's such an important tagline and an important event.
Yeah.
I think the importance of the partnership, getting back to our relationship with Standard Bank, is that, we have a partner who enabled this amazing kind of storytelling, this kind of activism, and we can't do this without you. It's a partnership, and it goes back to the campaign, Pogopela Sinawe. It's about striving forward together, and Standard Bank has been the enabler. They have supported this dream, and it's a great example of what is possible.
Yeah, thank you, Jigs. I think House and Fire and the festival itself stands as, proof of concept and a manifestation of what Pogopela Sinawe truly is. I think all you have to do is just look around you, look at the program, look at the developments at the festival. Jigs has spoken about, the importance of just starting, the importance of patience, and so on. How does Pogopela Sinawe encourage all of those qualities as well as resilience and growth?
So I think the way we view growth is different people grow differently. So to someone, it may look like buying a new car. To someone else, it might look like leaving their job and starting a business. And I think the acknowledgement from the brand is that those things are not really easy, but people are getting up and they are doing those things.
Yeah.
To what Jigs is saying, they are going out there, they are starting. Some of them, growth looks like they just need to be consistent on doing a thing for quite some time. So our promise really is, in those times when you are pushing ahead, just know that Standard Bank is with you. It's not just a promise that we're saying, but it's something that we're putting our brand behind.
Yeah.
Platforms like this festival become very important in us really proving that commitment to Emaswati.
We love it.
Yeah.
Letu, I'm going to welcome you a little later on. Jigs, thank you so much for joining us. Any final message to the festival goers as they gear up to be a part of the festival experience in exactly 2 weeks?
Yeah, what I would say is, don't be like me. Don't leave your outfit planning to the last minute. It's 2 days, 2 outfits.
2 days, 2 outfits.
2 days,
Yep.
2 outfits. So, come and celebrate this incredible festival that brings together some really incredible sensory, experiential, situations. It's happening in 2 weeks' time. Get your tickets.
Yep.
And we look forward to seeing you at Standard Bank Luju Food and Lifestyle Festival.
Thank you, Jigs. Thank you, Letu. Thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we are talking all things food. This is, of course, one of Southern Africa's leading food and fashion events, and it is time to talk about culinary innovation and all the program developments that you can expect this year. But for now, please do engage with our Q&A on the feed. Answer the questions and stand a chance to win some really exciting prizes in the spirit of Pogopela Sinawe.
Overreach, give me started from the bottom is not a figure of speech.
As one of Southern Africa's leading food and fashion events, the Standard Bank Luju Food and Lifestyle Festival has established a very powerful legacy of promoting the innovation that lies at the heart of its pillar, one of its pillars, which is food. The food program and experience at Luju Festival is like no other. And behind it is a very thoughtfully and tastefully curated experience. And I am so excited to welcome the festival's culinary curator to tell us all about the food experience and what we can expect this year. Hello, Sasha.
I'm Blue and I'm Nguni.
We love to see it. Now, as mentioned earlier in my intro, food is one of the core pillars of the festival experience. Can you just tell us what the philosophy and the mandate is behind the programmation of the culinary experience and perhaps even the messaging, that you are trying to convey through this experience?
Thanks, Piwo. I think, you get the term, you are what you eat, right? And from the lens of the Standard Bank Luju Food and Lifestyle Festival, we really explore that in its entirety because I believe, in that space that food is very much linked to who we are, our DNA, our identity, our heritage, our culture, our traditions, and so on and so forth. We recognize food as a bridging gap between cultures, language, even just transcending borders, coming together of families, of generations around a table, but also it's a vehicle for discussions around pertinent issues around sustainability and what our future looks like. So it's very, very important that we have these conversations, these food conversations, and that it's not just looking at food from the lens of filling our belly, not only from nourishment, but just trying to see how does this relate to who I am, space and time and community. So I think that it creates a really strong perspective for people coming to the festival, and it creates a very strong foundation for people coming to the festival to connect not only with, traders and the curated version of what food should look like, but with real people, the farmers, the people who are tending to the land, the indigenous knowledge keepers, the food advocates and the people that are actually there doing the work. So there's a lot that we can speak about that surrounds food. And of course, in a festival setting, where do you get the energy to keep going, to keep partying, to keep engaging? Because you need the food,
it's food
and the bev, so it's really important to recognize food as an integral part of that ecosystem.
So now let's speak to the festival goer, right? Planning the Luju experience. How can they meaningfully connect with the culinary experience at the festival, as well as this very conscious and proudly African identity around it? You speak of indigenous knowledge systems. You speak of food as memory, and I see the themes, right, from the past editions as sort of like a sequel. In 2024, you gave us Roots. Last year, you gave us The Forgotten Seeds. And here we are this year with this year's theme, which is
Nguni Foodways.
how can we
Yeah.
connect with Nguni Foodways? And maybe just perhaps now is the chance to give us a bit more background around the theme and what it actually means.
Yeah, just going back to that reference of you are what you eat. We are Nguni people, and we're a Bantu speaking tribe in Southern Africa. We don't exist in isolation as a Maswati, but in that ecosystem we have Xhosa, we have Ndebele, we have Zulu. And the thing that connects us is our food. Even actually how we migrate and choose to live where we live is informed by the food and the food that the land has to offer. Whether it's starting off as hunter-gatherers, moving on to subsistence farming, all of that is informed by the food. Where we choose to settle, who we choose to interact with, who we choose to trade with. The first trade was not monetary, it was food. It was, and then you get introduced to spices and all of that. And that's how we build our ecosystem, we build our heritage and our identity. So it's basically coming back to dignify those cultural foodways and being able to look at them and say, hey, this is what makes us who we are. This is our DNA and our makeup, genetic makeup. And so that's what we want to introduce this year through Nguni Foodways. And of course, our overarching theme is a return to the African future. So we want to explore all of Africa. And what's important for us in the culinary space is just to look at food as not something that we want to reimagine or to have new and innovative ways of interacting with it, but to remember, like you mentioned about it being memory, when you think of food, even now as a grown-up, there's something very nostalgic about a certain meal that takes you back to your grandmother's kitchen. But that is already just embodied in you, and it's something that is like a cultural DNA that is part of who you are. So we just want to keep reenacting that and to say, remember. Don't try to reinvent, but remember. And so the food speaks for itself. It's just saying, I've always been here, and connect with me, preserve what is there, and remember who you are because of where you come from, but also where your food comes from is important. So that's really what Nguni Foodways is about. It's about tapping into that ancestral memory, that ancestral intelligence.
Yes,
And
AI.
AI and ancestral memory,
Yeah.
So we're not trying to recreate. We're just saying, oh, this has always been here.
Yes.
How do we give it a platform? How do we give it a voice? How do people interact with it in a meaningful way?
How do we interact with it in a meaningful way? Now, give us a lowdown on the program. What can we expect? The culinary acts that are coming on this year, and some of the opportunities, in the spirit of Phela Sinawe, which is Standard Bank's brand campaign for this year, is how are we also using this platform to elevate the culinary industry, drive culinary excellence, and also just give emerging or aspiring culinary experts, a chance to showcase their talents.
I think we live in a very evolving world, right? Even in the food space, we're constantly inspired or tapping into global trends and things like that. And it's not to say that that's not important or that it doesn't advance food culture and the culinary landscape. And what we want to say is that when you are tapping into those global trends, we should not let that be the blueprint. We should not look at that as something that defines our worth or the value of African culinary systems or food culture. So when we curate the program, we were trying to return to that, to say, as Africans, with our African food, with our African ways and traditions, that is enough. That is something that we can actually take and run with. And we're basically wanting people to interact with food from a very authentic, grounded African perspective, and to bring back dignity to the poverty foods, to the forgotten foods and the forgotten seeds. And so when we explore that theme together with entities like Standard Bank, without which we wouldn't be able to advance them as well as we are right now, because we need that support.
Yeah.
You know, when you mentioned Pogopelas now, it's just like continue pushing forward, continue being resilient, continue being rooted in who you think you are, or who you are really. And so we want this program this year. Well, actually, we've curated this program to really center us
Yeah.
back to that, to our roots. And to say, you know, as Nguni people, we don't live in isolation as Maswati, but we have brothers and sisters. We speak of the spirit of Ubuntu and what really connects us, whether it's language or territory, but there's also just the core of it. There's food there.
Yes.
Things that, you know, you can have, you know, you have porridge. I'll make an example, which we'll call, you know, palishi, and some call fufu, but there's like different languages that explain the same thing.
Yeah.
And that one thing is what connects us. And so we are basically, putting it out to people to say, come to the festival this year with an open mind, as a way to reconnect with who you are as a Nguni person.
Yes.
And to basically see the importance of food and how it's shaped our society, our past, and how we can inform our present. And that is the return to the African future. So we're really excited for the program. We've curated it to include those tribal, you know, like Bantu speaking natives. And we have a program that includes Nguni fine dining, Xhosa influence, Ndebele influence. And I think it actually works really well with Bank, because we look at the branches, right? Like we have Zim, we have South Africa, we have Eswatini, and we want to bring that together from the contemporary lens of food to say, let's come together and actually build something where we can all see each other as one. And actually, you'll be surprised when you have someone like Makriza Made Me Cool coming from Zimbabwe, and the things that he's doing, the work that he's done, and the food that he works with. Very, very, very related to Eswatini culture. That Ndebele component is very much linked. And so we want that to be the takeaway, that we are one people, you know, and that we can sit around a table, share the same kind of food, and really take value in who we are, and actually that we can come together and have similar conversations and pursue the same things. That's what it is with the program.
Now, with this amazing program, some of the culinary acts, I don't know if you want to speak to just like very quickly who is on the program.
Of course, definitely. What I'm really proud of with the program, like, as I mentioned, is that it does fully encompass the Nguni foodways. And so from Eswatini, we have Chef Sive, which is a beautiful continuity, because he came last year, first time, you know, from culinary school, and he joined the cook-off competition and went on to win that. And that was supported by MasterCard, and together with other entities like Cospe, he got to learn about indigenous food, indigenous vegetables and traditional vegetables, which he had never worked with before. And now he's coming back as a Nguni dessert
That's amazing.
facilitator, and he's doing a masterclass on Nguni desserts. He's also had an incredible opportunity to work with Cospe groups at grassroots level, where he's training them on how to actually create menu, because they've been awarded a stall at the festival where you'll get to taste and interact with their food. So we love to see that full circle, and to have him represent Eswatini in that on that level. And we also have Chef Mabato Molefe. Those who know, she is the OG of Nguni fine dining. She's had incredible experiences running her own restaurant called Emazulwini. So she comes from that Zulu culture, but she takes humble ingredients like millet and sorghums and puts them on a fine dining plate, which is really incredible. And one of the other really exciting ones is we have Coco and Jay this year. Yeah. And those who know Jay represents Jay something of maybe known from Mikasa and his wife. You know, they tell like a love story on a plate. And what's really interesting, and I think this is what makes the culinary experience so special, that it's so educational, that you will get to learn that, you know, Jay something has a very strong Xhosa upbringing and influence. Even in his food, you know, he has a coastal, you know, sort of upbringing. So we'll see that come onto the plate. outside of what you know of him in his music career, but also he's not leaving that.
Yeah,
He's
behind.
integrating.
Yeah.
This it's a very sonic food experience. So he's
Love
bringing his
it.
guitar. We're gonna have a nice jam session
Oh,
where we
that is
cook
so
together.
amazing.
Yeah, so that's really exciting,
Wow.
and many, many more.
Talk
We've
about
like
culinary innovation, multidisciplinary
yes,
showcases.
eat,
Sway,
sway, love.
love.
Yeah, all
That's
in one.
amazing.
Yeah, we've got a
Sasha,
lot of incredible things lined up for
thank you
you.
so much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
And we look forward to experiencing, just the beauty of a return to the African future,
Yeah.
through this tastefully curated program and the experiences that
Mm.
you have prepared for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Siyabonga.
Sibonga kakhulu.
And there you have it. Nguni Foodways will take us on an exciting, memorable, and intimate journey on African indigenous knowledge systems and cuisine. And we cannot wait. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we are going to explore the world of fashion as well as this year's theme at the Luju Festival. And we have a guest trader who will join us to tell us about her journey and how she has pogopelad through the Luju Festival platform. Stay with us and we'll see you very shortly. Welcome back to the Blue Table Talks, our special edition where we are talking all things Luju Festival. Now, the question on everyone's mind every year is, what am I going to wear? How do I interpret the theme for each year, especially with this year's theme, Gwasuga Sugela, Once Upon a Time? And we're so excited to have here with us our fashion curator, Philippa Thorne. And of course, we're joined by a voice and a face who is no stranger to the Luju Festival journey. We've got Selu from Crochet by Selu, who is our guest trader. Hi, guys.
Hi, people.
Hi, Pure.
Aren't you just excited for this year's edition?
Very excited.
Phil, I'm going to jump straight into it because we've been getting so many questions around this year's theme, Gwasuga Sugela, which is the Siswati expression for once upon a time. So the questions are around, how do we interpret this theme? You know, what does it actually mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I absolutely love the theme this year. Kwasuga Sugela. I'm just like, even the sound of it.
Yeah.
You know, so to me, it all starts, you know, with the story around the fireplace. It invites us to really let our imaginations run away with us.
Yes.
You know, obviously everyone wants to know, like, what do I wear? How do I interpret it? And I think that's what we're asking people. That's the challenge, I guess, that we're asking from our designers and our festival goers, is that, you know, we're asking you to go back and think about those stories, you know, from your past, from your heritage, and then express them through your clothes. So, you know, of course, if you're, you know, depending on where you reference, it might be that you're going back and you're looking at traditional materials, you know, weaving, natural fibers, you know, your leathers, which obviously it's a nice marriage with
Yes.
but yeah, I think it's just about really telling your story and letting your imagination go wild. I think there's no wrong answers in fashion, and this is your chance to express yourself.
Oh, that is so affirming and so comforting. There are no wrong answers in fashion. It's all about, you know, self-expression, isn't it? It's all about just showcasing your gifts, your talent, your creativity. So we have that freedom, that creative freedom is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're also asking people, you know, to try and push the boundaries. So even when it comes to like silhouettes, you know, I love what you're wearing by Rose Petit, you know, the kind of voluminous silhouettes, like, you know, let's try to move away from maybe like Western stereotypes and like really go back to see like, you know, the draping of a lahia, and maybe that can be interpreted into a shawl. So I think, you know, those are the things we're excited to see and how people are going to interpret that at the festival.
I think, Phil, what I love most about this festival is how, you know, fashion is used as an instrument of storytelling, but it's also a very powerful vehicle for promoting Standard Bank and House on Fire shared vision, you know, for driving small business growth and, you know, empowering entrepreneurs in Eswatini. And I think one of the ways we see that manifest very strongly is through, you know, the fashion program. It's not just about showing up and looking beautiful. It's a very thoughtfully, you know, curated program. Can you just very briefly touch on what the fashion program comprises and how we are using this to empower the local fashion industry and give local designers a platform for them to grow their businesses and their vision and confidence?
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, I think firstly, thank you to Standard Bank, because, you know, the creative industry and the arts really need investment to thrive.
Yeah.
And it's a huge driver of the economy. So, you know, with our fashion program at Luju, we've actually got more designers than ever this year. So we've got 11 local designers on the runway, over in 2 runway shows actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a big growth on the program, and I think that just demonstrates you know, how the industry is growing in Eswatini and how more young designers are seeing that there are opportunities to actually express themselves and to you know, go out and start a small business.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, with our program, our designers apply back in, you know, April, May, and it's not just about a one runway show. So we're really with them all the way, all through the journey, you know, from conceptualizing their collection to supporting them with fabrics. We have a partnership with Far East Textiles, who sponsor fabrics for our designers. We give them feedback and mentorship so that, when they get to the runway, they can really, show the best expression of themselves and their story. And we've even got partnerships where we've seen designers go on to retail in South Africa. So Black Degree, he got into 2 stores in Johannesburg as a result of Luju. So I think, that's what it's about. It's about giving a platform to showcase fashion in Eswatini, but as a driver of economic growth of the sector.
Yes, I love that. And we have here with us a very tangible, I'd say, demonstration of that mandate, as well as, just this is what we mean when we say Pogopela Sinawe. Your growth journey, Selu, has been truly inspiring and amazing. I mean, you're dressing the stars now, like locally in South Africa and everywhere. Can you just give us, some background story into how you started Crochet by Selu and where you are now?
Thank you so much, Pure. So, Crochet by Salu is a slow fashion brand based in Babane. We make clothing out of good quality yarn. And I started crocheting back in 2021 during lockdown.
Wow.
Yes, it started off as a hobby.
Wow.
Then, as time went by, I fell in love with it and I started taking pictures of my work. And I remember sending it to few friends. And I asked them that, guys, if I were to sell this, would you guys buy? And the response that I got from them was so inspiring. Wow. And then I created an Instagram page. I remember DMing some lady, I didn't even know her. I DM'd her and asked her to be my model. Then we took nice pictures.
Wow.
I then started posting on my page. Then people fell in love with my work and they started ordering. It all happened so fast. And fast forward to 2022, I had to go back to school. I did my teaching practice, and it meant now I had to balance between crocheting and teaching practice. So during the day, I'd go to work and crochet at night. I finished my teaching practice and then went back to crochet full time. Then a few months down the line, I received a call from the head teacher asking me to come back to teach. My business was growing and now I had to go back to teaching.
So tricky.
Yeah, so it became so difficult to balance the two.
Yeah.
I then introduced crochet classes and I only got one client, but we worked together and as time went by, I ended up hiring her because the demand was getting high and I couldn't balance the two, work and crocheting. Yes, and fast forward to 2025, January, I registered my company and I got an office in town because I was so intentional about running a business. Yes.
Wow, Selu. That's so amazing. So you are almost 2 years in.
Yeah,
as a
but I've been
full-time-
crocheting for like 6 years.
So just
but
in terms
two-
of like the
yeah,
business and that decision you made
yeah.
and stuck to it, I love that so much. So how has being part of the Luju Festival contributed towards your growth journey? Because I'm like one of the people who discovered you at this festival. I'm not even lying.
Right.
Okay, this crochet by I saw your work from the runway. And I was like, never in my life would I have imagined that crochet designs could be modernized, in the way that you have. So how has being a part of the Luju journey elevated and advanced you to the next stage of your career?
Okay, being part of the Luju fashion show contributed greatly into into the growth of my business. I gained visibility. People started ordering more after the fashion show. And I also built credibility. Credibility. And I got introduced to new clients and I connected with the other creatives. And it also opened doors to new business opportunities for me.
That's amazing. Phil, kudos. I mean,
Thank
this
you.
is a true testament of what Luju stands for and what the fashion program is all about. How are we achieving this year in closing? How are we achieving this year? who's on the program, how are we empowering locals? You did mention that we've got 11 local designers. And very briefly, for anyone who would like to pogophela the way Selu has and the way the 11 designers will be pogophelaing this year, how can they be a part of that, and how can they start preparing, for it right now?
Well, yeah, right now, obviously, as Jukes mentioned earlier, is get your outfits ready. So
2 days, 2 outfits.
2 days, 2 outfits. I'm wearing Zarushi. So this is one of the designers on the runway. Absolutely love with the, the artisanal technique in this.
Big fan of her work. Sorry, since we're bragging about our local designs, I'm wearing Rose Petty, who's also on the
runway.
She's showcasing on the runway this year, like from head to toe, which is really exciting.
Yes, and if you don't have your outfit when you arrive, you're going to find also a lot of fashion brands in the marketplace, in the fashion cafe. Selu's going to be there. I just think your collection is so stunning. How you've transformed crochet.
Thank you so much.
From something that people think is a cottage industry, and we're all familiar with the hats, but you've really done so much innovation.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
I think coming back to your question about the program, we've got 11 designers. Please keep an eye on our social media, because that's where you're going to see them announce. Get in touch with them. I know they're busy on their collections, but they hopefully can fit some time in for clients as well. We also have a regional representation. So we're going to have a South African designer, 2 from Mozambique, Lesotho and Zimbabwe this year. So it's always exciting to see them alongside our Swati designers on the runway.
Wow.
And like I mentioned earlier, there's also going to be 2 shows this year in different locations. So don't miss out on that. Make sure you arrive early on the Saturday. That's just a little clue there.
Okay.
And make sure you explore all aspects of the festival, especially the fashion cafe. And can't wait to have you all there.
Cannot wait. And also, we have the best dressed competition. We absolutely cannot wait. We'll be sharing more information around that on social media. So when you prepare your outfits, just know that there is a prize. There's more pogophelaing for whoever chooses to put their best foot forward and interprets Gwasula Sugela their way, right? So more information is coming your way on the Luju Festival and Standard Bank pages. In closing, Selu, what does Pogophela Sinawe mean to you?
To me, Pogophela Sinawe means resilience.
Yeah.
It is the ability to move forward despite challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also helping each other along the way. And that is exactly what Standard Bank is doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And that is exactly what you're doing with the help of, institutions such as Standard Bank and the platforms that they continue to support, like Luju. So congratulations, Selu. You're doing such amazing work. We're so proud of you and proud of this platform. Phil, congratulations on, just the amazing work that's been being done and what we're yet to experience this year.
Thank you.
2 days,
Thank
2
you so much,
outfits.
Pio.
You've spoken about one outfit. Do you have your second outfit?
I'm definitely working on it. I might even have to have 3 outfits.
Ooh, 3. Okay.
Showstopper. These choice.
That's nice.
It's hard to choose.
I'm ready.
Good. Game on. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for engaging with the fashion narrative and creative direction behind this year's fashion program. We are about to take a quick break, but when we come back, we are talking all things Pogophela Sinawe and the exciting campaign, the prizes to be won, and what it actually means. We'll be joined by Standard Bank's Head of Product, Ngoba Manana, and Letu, whom we had earlier in the program, will be back to tell us more about what we can expect from this campaign. Stay with us.
Overreach, give me started from the bottom. It's not a figure of speech.
Now, we have explored the range of developments and innovation that are fueling the elevated experience that you can expect at the 2026 Standard Bank Luju Food and Lifestyle Festival, taking place from Saturday the 1st of August to Sunday the 2nd of August. And we've explored how this will manifest across the fashion, food, as well as lifestyle and music programs. But I think above all, this show is really about bringing us closer to how Standard Bank offers practical support, in manifesting the shared mandate that they have with House on Fire to promote small business growth as well as empower creative entrepreneurs in Eswatini. So right now, we're going to touch on how that happens. And we've got Ngoba Manana, Head of Product at Standard Bank. Hi, Ngoba.
Hi, Piero.
How's it going?
It's all good this side. How's it going?
Good. And Letu, you're back.
Yep. Good
Thank
to
you
be
for
back.
joining us.
Good to be
Ngoba, I'm going to start with you.
All right.
What opportunities and offers can customers look forward to during the Pokopela Sinawe campaign period?
So during this campaign, customers can look forward to being rewarded for doing everyday transactions. The idea is quite simple. Buy, send, swipe, and stand a chance to win.
Love
So
it.
with this process that we're having in this campaign, there's no need for customers to register. There's no need for any complicated processes. And this is very important because no one wakes up in the morning wanting to fill in any forms.
Yeah.
You want it to be automatic. So customers will be buying, sending, swiping, and they'll stand a chance to win prizes worth 600,000 emalangeni.
Wow.
And that is for 81 customers.
Wow.
Lucky Standard Bank customers.
Oh, my word.
And the prizes range from
Sure.
cash vouchers, shopping vouchers, fuel vouchers, and of course the big grand prize that will be parked there at Luju, that maybe you might be able to test drive.
Hey.
An Omoda CS.
Wow. Ooh.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to give you a round of applause because those prizes are so enticing. Well done. That is like the grand prize of an Omoda. There's fuel prizes.
Yes, shopping vouchers. And there are also bonus entries for customers. So
Wow.
the message that we're going with is do more with Standard Bank and you'll get more with Standard Bank, because we want to be able to reward customers for those little everyday moments.
Yeah.
Which is where we fit in.
Wow. And
Yeah.
those little everyday moments are every day.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of like transaction that happens. Now, I just want to know, one of the key themes at Luju is supporting growth opportunities for small businesses, right? And why is Standard Bank encouraging businesses and customers to embrace the habits, that it takes for small businesses to thrive? I'm talking swiping and the different digital payments and transaction behaviors that help to unlock growth opportunities. Why are those important?
So those behaviors are important, especially for small businesses, because digital payments help businesses grow.
Yeah.
Because they provide the platform for safety, make things easier, and they make things more convenient. So for this campaign, when customers swipe, when customers buy, when customers send, that means businesses can serve more people. That means that businesses can have their cash pressure reduced. It also means that they can have a clearer view of their daily activities. So at a place like Luju where this will happen, I mean, every successful transaction counts for these small businesses.
Wow.
So whether someone is swiping for lunch, that money could be used to pay a supplier. Whether a digital payment is made to a creator, that's money for their next local market. So I think in a very real way, the everyday banking habits that we're trying to build will take the local creativity and turn it into local growth.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, the transactional campaign, Ngoba, is positioned as the first proof point of the broader Pokopela Sinawe campaign.
Yeah.
What message would you like for us, Luju attendees, to take away about the everyday banking, the role that everyday banking can play in helping us move forward in achieving our goals?
So the message that I think I'd like to convey is that everyday banking is not separate from progress. Yeah, it is part of progress. And Standard Bank wants to be with our customers in all those everyday moments in a practical way.
Yeah.
And not just for the big milestones, as Letu mentioned earlier, whether it's buying a house, buying a car. Those are very important milestones. But we want you to know that we're with you during the everyday moments. So keep pushing, use the tools that we have offered you as customers to, make your life simpler, easier, and more convenient. So that's the broader message that we want to go out with.
We love it. Thank you so much, Ngoba. Back to you, Letu. We've spoken about growth from a cultural perspective and entrepreneurial perspective. How do these campaign offers complete the Pokopela Sinawe story?
So I think this campaign actually brings a practical dimension to the whole Pokopela Sinawe because it's more than a message.
Yeah.
You can think of it this way. We are sort of putting our money where our mouth is.
Yes.
So when we with the Transact campaign, it's not just about saying it, but it's also showing it in rewarding everyday banking. So it is a proof point of what we mean when we say Pokopela Sinawe in a way that the customer can touch. So in a way, when we say Pokopela Sinawe, it's more than us just doing the commitment and encouraging you, but it's also creating value along the way. Yeah, in ways that can really impact your life, like a brand new car.
Yes. Wow. And what would success look like for this campaign once Luju is said and done? What would you point to and say, yep, we did great. This was a successful campaign?
So I think when you look at Pokopela Sinawe, the intent is really simple. We want people to see Standard Bank as an enabler for their growth. So success would look like customers being more engaged with the bank, using the tools that we offer them, whether it's a bank account or digital platform to do transactions, to really enable their growth as they keep pushing through life.
Yeah. Ngoba, for you, what would constitute, a successful campaign? What would you look back on and point to and say, yeah, we nailed it. We Pokopela.
So for me, I think a success would be customers seeing us as a partner in their everyday life.
Yeah.
And of course, if people start buying digitally, people are sending using our platforms, people are swiping using our platforms. I think that will prove to us that it's just it's about more than just the excitement.
Yeah.
It's about building those everyday habits.
Yeah.
And of course, successes will include those happy winners, those people that are going to win the AT1. And you'll have the fuel vouchers, you'll have the shopping vouchers and all those prizes that will have those exciting outcomes. But for me, it's going to be the car. If we're able to see someone who hasn't driven a car before getting the car, and seeing that excitement, then we'll see that pushing or, basically us being with them and seeing them push is going to lead to them leaving in the wheels that are so much more comfortable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We cannot wait for that. Thank you all so much for joining us and for bringing Pokopela Sinawe so much closer. I think for me, hearing you both talk about it makes it a lot more resonant. It's so easy to look at a campaign and think, oof, this is just another, catchy term. But I think the way it's manifesting in very practical terms through the Luju platform, the prizes and how thoughtful they are, because these are everyday prizes that you're rewarding everyday activities with everyday prizes, which is, I think, such a brilliant approach and a way to make us feel closer to Standard Bank. So siyabonga kakhulu. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
2 days, 2 outfits before we go.
Yes.
How ready are we?
Yeah, I've already got 3 lined up. Yeah. I hope that they're able to crochet something
That's
for
true.
me.
I hope you're not just applying pressure for nothing.
I'm still working on the one.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
I just know that on the Friday, you'll either be collecting
I'll make it work.
or it'll already be there.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Saturday, we'll find you ready.
Make sure you swipe there so you enter the competition as well.
Yes. Swipe for your accessories, swipe for your outfits, swipe for your hair, ladies, your nails, everything. Pokopela Sinawe, thank you so much. The transactional pillars are what?
Tsenga,
Pumela, Swiper. Thank you. Thank you
Bella.
so much. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our amazing viewers at home. This is how we enter and roll out the blue carpet for the 8th edition of the Standard Bank Luju Food and Lifestyle Festival. Thank you so much for staying with us. And of course, for you to Pogapela, for Standard Bank to say, keep pushing, we are with you. You need to get your pass to the festival. So do make sure that you visit our website, www.lujufestival.com, to get your tickets. But tickets are also available on Unayo Marketplace. Simply send hi to the number that is 78056364 and follow the prompts. But you can also get your tickets from selected Standard Bank branches in Ezuluni at the Gables, in Manzini, as well as in Babane at the Corporate Place. So do make sure you have so many options to choose from, and yet so little time, because we are only 2 weeks away. So we hope that you can get your tickets as soon as possible. Keep up with the Luju buzz on our social media platforms, Standard Bank Eswatini, as well as Luju Festival, for more timely updates on the program across our food, fashion, and music environments and experiences. Thank you so much for being a part of the Blue Table Talks. Until next time, Pogopela Sinawe.
Overreach, give you started from the bottom, it's not a figure of speech.